Hey guys, welcome to episode 12 of the weekly. And today we are a little bit short staffed, so to speak. With me here is Mr. Black Iron underscore man. How's it going, man?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. Not bad.
And surprisingly, Warren is late.
Surprisingly, isn't he always late?
This is what you guys say all the time, back and forth. Okay. Anyway,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
There he is. So Warren is here. Warren is late.
Yet again, like usual.
Like yet again. Usual. Really?
Just
yet
like
again?
Usual. Like every time.
You're talking? You're talking. I'm 2 minutes late. I'm still 10 minutes ahead of wherever the hell you get in.
I was here when it went live, man. I was here when it went live. That's all I have to say.
How does that feel? That's a new feeling for you.
I know, man. I don't even know how to feel about that.
All right, guys, let's get it on. Mr. Juan Bagnell will not be with us this week. He is busy. So let's kick things off with a couple of things. First of all, we have a win this week. I call it a win because, as we know, flights coming from certain countries in the Middle East, the TSA says there cannot be any large electronics on board. And it looks like Emirates, maybe probably his partner with Microsoft, has said, anyone who takes those flights from Dubai to the USA will be given a free surface to use during the flight. So at least you get to, browse the web, do whatever you need to do on.
Maybe even do some work.
Yeah. True, definitely. So,
who does work on planes, really?
I do sometimes.
You'd be surprised, especially if long
flight. That's because you can fit in the plane to do it.
Oh, wait, trying to say I'm a tiny guy? I don't have small hands. My hands are regular size.
You can fit in a regular first class. You can fit in a regular seat.
Let's keep this answer out of this. But what do you guys think?
It's good. It's a good idea because realistically, if you're flying from those countries and coming to the United States, a lot of people who come to the United States are coming here for business. It's not everyone who comes here is coming here as a tourist. So there's going to be a lot of people who come here for business. There are going to be a lot of people who are coming here with kids to see family. So there are going to be people who really need to keep, who need to either be entertained or need to have a way to work. And this probably is, the best, I guess, the best stopgap between both of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, before you answer, Warren, I want to pose this to you. Is it surprising that it's not iPads, especially coming this week that there's news that people prefer Surfaces over iPads?
Apple's not going to do this type of promotion. It's just not something they do. This is something that a Microsoft or someone else will jump on and do and pair with Emirates, which I think they have a past relationship with anyways. So it makes sense for them to kind of push that in and it gets people, hey, use the service. You might just buy one for yourself because now you get, you have a long trial to use one.
No, that's true. I mean, I think if I was Microsoft, I would expand this to other airlines because right now Emirates is the only one. It's something I'll reach out to all the airlines from, affected countries or places and say, hey, here's something, we can either give you as loaners or discounts, whatever the case may be, to affect some kind of, promotion, out of this kind of situation. So I think it's pretty good. All right, let's jump into some news. The first one is Scorpio. We finally got spec details of Scorpio from Eurogamer, revealed by Digital Foundry. And it seems like Microsoft actually stuck to their promise because, a lot of the fears before the specs came out was Scorpio was going to be maybe slightly more powerful than the PS4 Pro or even just the same. But in terms of specs, we're getting an 8-core custom x86 CPU. GPU is 6 teraflops. RAM is 12 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM on there. Memory bandwidth is 326 gigabytes per second. Is using vapor chamber cooling. I have no idea what that means, and it will have an internal.
It's the same thing that's in the Surface.
Yeah,
it's not quite water cooling.
Yeah, internal.
It's kind of like what's in the Surface and the Lumia phones.
Yeah, internal hard drive is 1 terabyte. Now, to put into perspective, they say the CPU is 30 times faster than the Xbox One S, and the GPU is 4.6 times more powerful than what you have on the Xbox One S. My indication is, it's either Ryzen-based CPU, probably off the Ryzen 5, I would say, and GPU might be off the RX 500 because that's not Vega. Vega is still at the end of the year. Thoughts? What do you guys think?
This is a new console.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now with the
And
specs,
they're lying and trying to say that it's not, but Sony's mildly got away with saying that they didn't release a new console, even though the Pro kind of is. But they blurred a real gray area in doing it. But Microsoft is just blatantly doing it and trying not to say that it is. And it's a brand new console. And I mean, it just happens to be able to play original Xbox games. They didn't bone you on the backwards compatibility this time. And then within 2 years, when they stop making games allowing them to work on both old and new Xboxes, they'll officially have themselves a new console that's only in its own thing after a while.
I mean, yes and no. I think the difference here is the architecture is strictly PC, which means you can just play everything across the board.
This is an x86 chipset.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. We're trying right now. Microsoft already came out with the whole idea that they're going to stop making these releases like ever so often, right? We're coming to the end of the console releases as much as possible. So releasing a PC that basically sits in your living room is the end game. So this is the end game. Scorpio is the end game to getting Microsoft or Xbox as a home entertainment device rather than a gaming device. It's been going there, and I think this is finally it. Because I'm saying going forward, you're not going to be looking for just new games that are, new Xbox games. You're going to be looking for literally new software to put on that device to make your computer work in a certain way. That's simply all it is.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that just eventually you're just going to throw a PC underneath there. They've got to stop neutering all the entertainment stuff that this Xbox comes with, and it's been neutered pretty badly from the time that they released this and went with this idea. They've skewed everything back to being a straight gaming console. And this Project Scorpio is a straight gaming console they're going to push. They're not going to really push the entertainment purposes of it. They'll mention the HDR, the 4K. They'll mention some of the apps and the streaming services that come with it. But it's going to be very, very lightly touched. They're going to talk about here's Halo in 4K. 4K Halo, and they'll just keep saying Halo and some Call of Duty exclusive they'll have. And that's what they'll push the entire time that they throw this thing out to here. So it'd be nice if they push, whatever this thing's going to be, probably $400. It'd be nice for them to
probably 500.
They'll never do another 500 console again. They got boned when they did that with the Xbox One. They'll take the loss.
They can get away with a 500 for the Scorpio. They probably will be able to get. Dude, we're looking at a 2.3 gigahertz x86 processor.
Oh, wait, before you continue, Sam, Link 057 says, my only concern is the CPU is weak at 2.3 gigahertz. He wants 3.94 gigahertz CPU in there.
What are you trying to do? A 7700K or something? What's he trying to do? He's trying to build a power plant? I don't understand.
I mean, dude, that would cost you $300 off the shelf. So even if you're doing a cost price, it'd be like $100. No way. No. It's kind of hard to get that one going. But as I was saying, there just isn't. To me, I understand where they're going. I know what they're doing with this, but they're pushing this thing as a gaming console, not as the entertainment piece that the original Xbox was supposed to be. And for me to see them push it to $500, public perception just won't allow them to do that. They should get away with making this a $500 console, but they did that before, and it bit them in the ass. And trust and believe when this thing releases in the holiday season, you don't think that PS4 Pro is going to have some deals, some sales to undercut that thing. Yeah, right. It's already at. It doesn't matter. It's public perception. Public perception is not going to give a damn because in the end of the day, Sony can say they have a 4K console, doing a whole bunch of trickery to get there, but they can sit there and say that right against Microsoft and the cheaper version of it. So you can't be $500. That's just as soon as you say $500. That is a PC, and then at that point, you might as well go buy the PC.
Yeah, but then you have to learn how to put a HTPC software on it. You have to learn how to basically make it into a gaming stuff with Steam. Start talking about compatibility. What do you want to run on it that's going to be stable? Yeah, I'm sure that. There's a lot of headache that comes with that.
So what will happen when that happens? They'll go and see, oh, the PS4 is cheaper and does the same thing. Done.
I see your point.
Done. There's no way they can release it at that price. I'm in agreement with you. At $500, yes, I would sell this at $500, but it just can't possibly happen because of their own bad way of handling their marketing.
I mean,
launched it.
I do agree with Warren. I think for them to do a 500 or anything higher, they would have to pick Oculus or Vive and bundle it with it, and then you can make an argument for that kind of price.
I think the $500 is going to be for your 1 terabyte, and then you're going to get like a lower tier that's going to be 500 gigs.
Unless they have 500 gig, but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I don't think
they have to do that. The same thing they did with the S when it came out. If you got the terabyte, it's cost more. Yeah, but if you got the 1 terabyte, it's very different than getting the 500 gigs. Okay,
yeah, and then all the 1 terabyte people got boned because the rest of us got 2 terabytes because we pre-ordered it.
Yeah, true.
What kind of crap is that? And that's crap. I thought that when they said they weren't releasing 2 terabyte ones anymore.
It's a pre-order perk. Simple as that.
Oh, pre-order perks are BS. Like I know what I want for pre-order perk, a free damn game. That's what the hell I want as a pre-order perk.
1 extra terabyte is not enough for you? Man, you're demanding.
Yeah, 1 extra terabyte for me to spend money on games from them. That's nice. Give me a free year of Xbox Live so I can continue to download these free games from there that I never damn it play. I need more space to do that.
Now here's something to talk about, which I'll lead back to in the question. But
Link 057 agrees with me. He said he would gladly pay $500. Okay.
I think $500 is a great price, and I think most people that are in our space understand why it's $500.
The regular consumer won't.
The regular consumer will not. They'll say $500. I'll just go get an iPad, or I'll go get another gaming console. Wait a minute, $500. Screw that. I can go spend $300 and give my kid a Switch, and it's like his DS and all this stuff all put together, and he can have the same gaming fun, and he can plug it into the TV. Eventually, that thing will get apps and stuff like that. I mean, granted, it's nice that it's 4K, but we're still on that cusp of making people understand what 4K is. And people understand that it's better than 1080p. We got to get the content and a lot of those other things out there. This space knows about it. People that understand, that bought a 4K TV know about it, but it's not like they get a lot of content off from the TV box or anything else that's going to give them that. So, and we're not at a point where we can walk into Walmart yet and buy your kid a $200 4K TV. When that moment does happen, then then maybe we'll have a little bit more discussion with that. But for right now, if they price that thing at $500, it's a DOA thing happening to them. They have got to take, and I think it sucks that they have to do that. I think it does suck they have to do that.
I mean, you know what they should do? They should put it 500, take that Halo edition that they messed up with, right? Yeah. Make it 4K and just bundle it with it. Throw it in there.
Well, they got to bundle a lot with it because, as James Jonathan said here, it's like this console won't be for kids. Consoles are always for kids. It does not matter which one it is. The kids are always the first thought process. Yes,
even if the parent is buying it for himself, it's still for the kids.
It's still for the kid. The kid is considered. We're probably the only adults without any kids that are buying it for ourselves.
Admitting to buying it for ourselves. Admitting
for ourselves. But
here's the thing I wanted to ask you guys in terms of performance. So they talked about how, because of the power that the console has, the upscaling for regular Xbox games, you're going to see better definition with that, just because of the way the system is built. So developers don't have to do any extra coding compared to PS4, where you needed a special update, to play Uncharted in 4K. There are certain things the system had to do. They were talking about performance, and they said Forza 6 ran at 4K 60 frames per second and was using 60 to 70% of power, while the Xbox One S, to do that at 1080p 60 frames, was using 90% of the power of the system. Now, when they were comparing graphics cards, Digital Foundry said that it did not drop frame rate. So they compared it to a GTX 1060 and said the 1060 dropped frame rate from 60 frames. The 1070 handled with a few dips, which is where they're comparing the graphics card for Scorpio to the 1070. And so, of course, the 1080 is just higher and handles all the way through. So we are looking at something that's equal to a 1070 or the AMD Fury X graphics card. So that's where Microsoft has really just dropped and said we are spending money on this console in terms of putting some.
There's no doubt this is a big play. This is a move towards definitely PC gaming architecture in the living room. No, dude, there's no question to that. It is a new console. It is definitely a new console. There's nothing about the specs that says current generation. It beats current generation consoles by 4 gigs. By 4 gigs of RAM, about 100 megahertz.
It's about 40% more powerful.
Yeah,
overall. Yeah, everything else that's out there, and they're like, "This is still in the Xbox library." I'm like, "Okay,
no,
you want to call it
that?" But you know, for them, they have to call it that. It makes more sense because they know that they're going to sell more Xbox One S's anyway for a while. And you have to cover that cost across the board, especially when you're lagging behind PlayStation. And
the reason he said he thinks that it's expected to sell the Xbox One S is because they got to repurpose all those motherboards that they're doing for all the One S's to push out all that stuff. They got to push all that out there. So I'm pretty sure once this Project Scorpio is announced and we get official pricing and stuff, we'll hear the One S take about a $50 to $100 cut to just get it the hell out there, and to deplete inventory. But my concerns are one of the things you said with the gaming aspect to it. This the developers won't have to do anything. I think if the game has to be dynamic, be able to dynamically work itself that way.
Yeah.
And developers are lazy, so I doubt they did that. So I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be a lot of updates still for it to say, "Hey, this is Xbox Project Scorpio ready," or this allows it to work better.
I think they're doing it different. I think they're taking the true PC route of doing it, where again, there's nothing you have to do in terms of update other than a general system update.
Yeah, but my problem with that is that if you don't have to do anything to make it work, but let's say your game gets on there and doesn't really work right, you get consumers that complain about it not necessarily working the way it should, because you're still dealing with new hardware, so you still have to test the game. Yes, your game should run on here normally, but there's no guarantee of it running the same way.
There's no guarantee, but at least you're doing it the tried and true way, the PC way of handling it. Remember, as all 3 of us have 3 different PCs with 3 different power levels. I'm using the Ryzen PC right now. Doesn't mean we can all just jump in and play Mass Effect Andromeda or something like that, right? It will scale to what you're doing. So I'm glad they're going that way, rather than what we've been doing for consoles for a long time, where it's just like patch update till you die.
I don't see that. I don't see them going away with that. It's still gonna be a patch update to your die, because nobody actually finishes games. Nobody finishes games.
We're working with PC specs here, so there's no way that anyone creating a game for this is not going to put those features in there. It just does not make sense.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, if they sell this at $500, they better throw a.
You guys jump to the next topic. I'll be right back.
They better throw for $500. I want to see a game. I want to see the Elite controller in there, 1 or 2 of them damn headset, the chat pad. I want everything thrown in there under the sun if they're gonna do that, and then give me a coupon for the Kinect, because they pissed me off with the way they just got rid of that thing.
I really do hope that it come out with something similar to the Kinect. But that's basically, we've really beat on this for a while. We even have more Xbox news, right? We have
there's just some more stuff coming out here. Let's see.
Our next one now supports Dolby Atmos and DTS:X audio.
Yeah,
immersive audio.
That'd be pretty cool. That's nice. We just got to get the speakers out there, and that don't cost more than the Xbox itself. I think we all did it went to, I think it was at LG's booth. They were there a few booths, but I think LG did the Dolby Atmos True Demo, where you can walk in and kind of hear that. So it's basically surround sound without adding all the extra speakers for surround sound. You're in the area and you'll hear the different footsteps and the different things in different places. A game like what we're all playing now, like a game like The Legend of Zelda, would really take advantage of that, being able to hear where things are, to have an idea, is this to my left or this to my right? Is where in what direction the sound is coming from you.
Oh, you mean Dolby Atmos?
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. and I'm glad the Xbox supports it. I'm just okay. Let's just get some speakers out there that don't cost twice as much more than the Xbox. That's
Yeah, it's gonna take a while before we get Dolby.
I like that they have that, but are they talking? Oh, we support Dolby Atmos. Okay, is the Dolby Atmos speakers going to drop in price where it can match up to it by the time that happens? Are they going to release speakers that do that, or are they releasing it now for the fact that maybe the generation after this will take advantage of it? I don't know, but it's just like by the time that comes around, everybody will forget that thing even has that.
No one really cares about what audio. I would say. I shouldn't say no one really cares, but I say the regular consumer doesn't care about what audio encoding is being used on your PC or is being used on your TV. They just care that it sounds very good. And I think this is what this is going to do. This is going to make the audio that we get from our devices, from our AV receivers, from now I guess the Xbox, it's going to make it sound that much better.
In fact, it follows a general trend with audio as opposed to video codecs. Is almost every device has almost every audio codec you could think of.
Yeah,
just cover the bases. Whether it's Dolby 7.1, it's DTXX, Dolby Atmos. Throw it in there. When you plug your stuff, you're good. That's your problem. You can listen to whatever speakers you want. And also, since every movie studio is supporting it now, you might as well just throw it in there if you're going to be having a 4K Blu-ray player. Or
I just hope the speakers get out there for the people that have the spaces that this essentially works for. Because Dolby Atmos is designed for apartments like me and yours. All three of us exactly that can't fit us around town, but we want that little soundbar speaker that can basically imitate what that does. And that's what we want. So hopefully soon. I'd love to have it soon. But
tell Samsung and LG to cut the price.
there's a price cut that kind of needs to happen with that. I'm pretty sure we'll get some headphones that'll take advantage of that. That will be of an affordable price point, which is what most gamers will be using anyways when playing games. A lot of people use gamer headsets. Not everybody lives alone and doesn't have to use a headset to game. So
yeah. Sam, you're going to say something?
No, I think most of these are coming out as software updates to already available, to the Xbox and also to already available AV speakers, AV systems. So chances are that all people, if you have a high-end device already, all you need to do is just do like a firmware update.
I prefer them to get the ish together and start connecting these things to wireless systems like the Sonos. I'd rather have that.
Sonos has to actually pay for Dolby Atmos license. That's what's up.
I understand that. I just want even beyond that. I just want them to make that all work like we all want it to work.
Oh no, it can. The thing with Dolby Atmos is, for instance, Microsoft had the hardware in. It was just settling licensing fees. Dolby across the board is about licensing fees for everyone. They said it publicly, like that's how we're going to do because we have one of the best audio experiences anybody will want. And Microsoft was like, all right, fine. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We agree. We're going to pay. So when Sonos gets to that point where they want to do that too, they will do it. So it's just a matter of you willing to pay up. Pretty much. All right. Speaking of paying up, YouTube released its TV service, YouTube TV, which will cost $35. And right now, it's only mobile available on your Android, I believe, and iOS devices for YouTube TV. You could go ahead and download it now. There's a free 1-month trial. Now, in terms of station list, there are not a lot of stations. If you're a baseball fan, though, there is baseball there, so that's nice. You can add things like Showtime and Fox Soccer Net for $11 and $15, which is a little high for Showtime, I believe. I can't remember how much other people are charging for that. But have you guys taken a look at it? Or should I just jump in?
It's not available in my area, really.
Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry, specific areas too. Five regions.
I see the link there, but I'm like, man, I can't really do anything with that. So, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
No, I haven't really tried it yet. And, I really am not that... I don't have any enthusiasm to, just because it's another TV service. I want to really see if it lasts before I jump in and start using it. And I don't know how it already plays with all the other YouTube subscriptions I have. If I get a YouTube service for $35, I don't know if I still have to pay for
YouTube Red?
Play Music or YouTube Red.
I know
that information isn't out there yet. So
I know it has YouTube Red, so already now I have YouTube Red since I'm trying to.
So you have YouTube Red. That means check if you have Google Play All Access.
Yeah, if you have Google Play All Access, maybe you have Google Play Music as well.
Then I might consider putting money down.
All right, no, let's see, man.
Yeah. That's
We're doing it live, folks. We're doing it live.
That's the thing. I haven't heard much about that. So if they're doing that, then I'm like, okay, I can cancel my Google Play Music and then go with this $35.
Well, technically, you would upgrade, wouldn't you?
No, because I'm going in and it says subscribe to Google Play Music. No thanks. Nah.
Make sure you're on the right account though. Like that.
Yeah, it's I'll use one account for all the stuff I test with. So. No, it seems like that's not there, or you think they would give at least a slight, because Google Play Access was $14.99, right?
The family version of that, I jumped in when it first came out, so I only paid like $8.
Yeah. So yeah, it's in terms of the service, the interface is smooth and fast. It's what you expect them to do with good software that sometimes Google can't put out. My problem is just the channel. I mean, like for me, if they had as many channels as say Sling or DirecTV, then I say, okay, fine, this is a competitor, but it just has way fewer channels for me to even care of picking it up and say, oh, this is something different. Now, if you're
touting 40 channels though, like 40 channels, that's all they have right now, or is that something they're going to have in the future?
And a cloud DVR too.
Yeah, 40 channels right now, but for the same price, DirecTV has like 160 or 120 or something like that. I can't remember.
No, I think that deal's that special. I don't think is around anymore.
Gone. Okay.
I think the special's gone, but I think even their $35 plan, I think, has more channels.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that it's not comparable to a lot of people's bases.
But I think the big thing here is that this thing can record and do DVR level stuff.
Yeah. Your DVR is truly unlimited. All the way through. So
6 accounts, which is pretty good.
So there's that aspect. It's just how soon can they ramp it up to add more channels, more things for people to say. They're trying to leverage YouTube and
yeah, they have YouTube Red Originals, which is like on the bottom right corner of the promo page.
So it's really
just to like not like you would think they put that front and center to pay attention to.
You want to find YouTube Red when you go to the home menu, you go scroll. Okay, here it is. It's at the bottom of my menu list.
This is an interesting deal because if this is $35 a month and you can have up to 6 people join into this, this is something you can share with anyone. Well, their own login, their own personal library. I mean, I'd imagine, I don't know how region locked this is. That might be the only thing, is that your local stations are maybe dependent upon one zip code. But beyond that, that's still a pretty good deal.
I mean, if you're talking about like, say, if I had like brothers and sisters and we all lived in New York, then
that's perfect. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's perfect. It makes sense. So they are benefits to it. I'm not saying they're none. It's just that for just a single user,
they got the key channels though. I'm looking at it now. They have the key channels, which is ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. Those are the key ones. They have the Disney Channel, which is a big one. They have E, which a lot of people like the reality stuff. The Bravos and the Oxygens are on there. The Disney News. They have the CBS Sports Network, the Comcast Sports Network, and the NBC Sports Network, which cover your sports bases. They have enough sports sitting here that covers all that. Which is pretty big too. Plus, which is a pretty big deal. And you also have, they have USA, which covers a lot of great shows off of that, and wrestling. So that gets covered. The only thing that's not on the network is Raw and SmackDown. So it's like, I still have to have it for that. And then you have, let's see what else. They got a couple of customized channels here.
I'm mostly interested in the MSNBCs, Fox News, CNBC. So that's good stuff. And then they have the regular channels that are going to give you nightly news. So there are ways to get.
This is actually a little bit better than what most of these have released out with. I remember when Sling TV came out. It really didn't have this type of lineup. It was a little theirs was a bit on the very weak side.
Yeah, it took them a while to ramp up. Yeah,
PlayStation TV kind of came out awkwardly. And I think that had its few. That's just a little pricey for what it is. And then you have, I think, DirecTV Now, which I think put the best sort of package together of stations and features at a reasonably good price. But this at $35 a month, they were to throw in like, you know, the Google Play All Access and all those other things that go along with this. I jump on board with this since I'm already a Google Play.
I mean, even if you gave a slightly lesser version of Google Play Access, I mean, I don't know what the basis is now, but because it's 35 and right now it's $14.99, if you give a slightly less version, it still is an incentive to go.
In fact, I would take it even if they removed YouTube Red.
If you could switch it out, right? If you could pick one of the two.
I don't know if as a YouTuber, I'd want to still have the YouTube Red just because you do get really used to not having to watch ads on YouTube. It does become something you get like when you start you go to other people's things and they're like, "What are you waiting for? There's an ad." It's like, well,
see, I take a different approach. I love ads running on my video, so I will always watch other people's ads. That's how.
But the thing is, you still get paid for that through YouTube Red. Like, that's still money still coming.
I'm just used to it.
Yeah. No, but the way I see it is, if I didn't have YouTube Red, the thing is, YouTube has done a good job of making sure their ads show at the start of the show, and then that's it. Or you can tell when ads are going to happen because it has the breaks in it.
Yeah,
but
unlike Facebook, right?
Well, I think Facebook in the middle of the show to make no sense.
Yeah, that is true. All right, I'm skipping one news segment quickly just to jump to YouTube partner because since we're talking about YouTube, and we'll go back to Xfinity Mobile if you guys are going through the show list. So YouTube, and it's funny when this news came out because Warren and I were talking about this maybe about a couple hours before the announcement. So one of the things about YouTube, just going back to give you some history, is that before, when Warren joined and I joined, we were around the same time. Becoming a YouTube partner was a big deal. Was a big deal to get to a point where you could start running ads. It was a certain level system where you knew that you've generated a fan base, you've had a certain amount of views, and then YouTube eventually opened that up to everyone because they wanted to generate a lot of money. And I don't blame them for that. That's what businesses do. But they didn't set good guidelines for it. So YouTube, it looks like they're trying to rein that back in some form. And the new partner guideline, basically, or say the advertising guideline is, if your channel doesn't have 10,000 views, ads will not be run on the channel. Now, that sounds all nice and dandy, but to me, I think it's still very limited because, to Warren's point, you said this in our conversation, is somebody can do that in one video like that. It's very easy. And I'm not saying that you should limit people. I'm saying that, one of the things we suggested was there needs to be tiers. You need to understand that, people who have a higher amount of subscribers need to also have a different revenue sharing scheme as opposed to somebody who has less, because you're working to make more. There's a certain amount of content, some amount of quality you're putting into that. And as you grow, and even you guys tell us ourselves, you're like, oh, come on, man, you need to fix your audio. You have X amount of subscribers, like we expect better from you. That's what happens when you move up the chain. So that's just my own, suggestion there. But I'm glad to see they're doing some things to ensure that it's just not an, open market, free for all market, so to speak. Sam, any thoughts?
No, not really. I think it's good to at least give people an assurance that whatever they're looking at is going to be somewhat quality. But like you said, I don't think 10,000 just views. It was 10,000 subscribers. That's different. 10,000 views to me is just it's an arbitrary. It becomes arbitrary.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's I remember I saw someone who said, it was Austin Evans. He said, he posted on Twitter. He said, I think I became a partner when I got to 1 million views. That's when I can't remember what the structure was back then because it's just been a while, but and I was like, I don't think it was 1 million, but there was some criteria where you're like, I want to get there. You know what I mean? Like you felt like you were climbing a mountain.
I'm wondering if they are. I got in earlier before everyone else when you could just apply and just kind of get in when they were just kind of letting anyone in. But like they, I think it should be at a point where you're allowed to apply and be evaluated for it, and it's not a guarantee. You still got to show some consistency to be able to get some views and stuff like that. Seeing that everybody just left, wanting to go.
No. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm still here.
Okay, I was just like wondering. The camera went out, and everybody just like, peace out. I'm like, damn.
Camera went out. It's not back up, but yeah. I was gonna go get some water, and then I saw E left, so I figured I'll stay here until he gets back.
But I think this is mostly being done to kind of weed out low quality advertising. So advertisers aren't paying for low quality things. Like they're not paying for a video that's not going to get them the clicks and the revenue that they want to, they're expecting from it. So I think that's what this is. This is based off of. Pierre, what do you mean by a tier system? Yeah, you want to make it based on subs and views and watch time and things. Whatever the hell metric, whatever the hell the metrics that YouTube cares about when it talks about how to push how they want you to optimize videos to get people to watch YouTube videos longer. So if it's watch time based on where the search comes from, whatnot, subscribers, it shouldn't be just 2 or 3 things. It should be an algorithm of things that come together that maybe give you some type of net score that they determine that says, hey, all right, you belong in this tier and in this tier and this tier and so on.
I mean, technically,
it just gives incentive.
Think about it. YouTube already has a tier system. It's called 100,000 subscribers. You get a plaque already. So subconsciously, it's everybody strives for that. That's the first goal you strive for before the next plaque is 1 million, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So, but then in between that, 500,000 is the next goal that everybody goes for. That is how YouTube has already told us that there's a tier system, but the advertising and the revenue scheme doesn't flow that way at all within that, system they've already created, for honoring YouTubers. So it's something that, they need to create a system where, like you said, Warren, it, covers, subs, views, watch time, as well as also engagement, things like that. And because, watch time is one thing, also engagement is another. Some of us spend time talking to you guys in the comment section, spending time answering questions, going back and forth. That should play a role so that it becomes something where the advertising revenue can then be split on a merit basis. The harder you work, the more you gain, the better it is.
It's kind of what happens in Hollywood and real entertainment when every standard deal and pretty much any type of contract is usually like a 10% deal, and then that percentage goes down as you continue to rise as a star. Like guys like the Rock and all them right now, I'm pretty sure are not on 10% anymore when it comes to how much they pay their fees for their agency. It's probably around 3 or 5%, but you got to remember this guy's also making $1 million contracts, so that flows out. So you take less, but you obviously gain a whole lot more than that. So that's what I would like to see a lot of these things sort of come to be a little bit more entertainment driven when it comes to its contracts than currently what it is right now. But I think as I was saying before, I think one of the reasons they're doing this is to kind of weed out a little bit of spam, weed out a little people stealing videos, give advertisers, prevent advertisers from wasting on bottom feeding level videos that aren't going to necessarily give them the quality that they're looking for. And this kind of ties into the whole that whole YouTube censorship thing, not censorship, but the whole thing with the people removing ads and all that, the Wall Street Journal and all that other stuff. So I think some of that is this response is tied into some of that whole thing that's been going on.
Yeah, a lot of advertisers were not. It's the same problem. YouTube is facing the same problem that Google's web and search ads were facing maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when Yahoo was still prominent, where people were saying Yahoo just gave them better targeted advertising. Google was always bigger, but there there were so many websites, people were dumping things everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's the same process they're going now where advertisers are like, okay, yeah, I'm spending $10 million, but I'm not seeing anything. And this is YouTube where I should be getting better traction than, regular search.
Yeah.
So,
because people are sort of complaining about, being censored based on videos and things of that nature, and being demonetized. Because I think that's also a thing that's kind of being said wrong. YouTube's not censoring you. You can say whatever the hell you want to say on there. The monetization is just a benefit to, you get to say something and you get to monetize off of it. That's not suppressing your free speech. I know that's like the term that YouTubers don't want to hear, but it's not doing that. And here's the other thing too: YouTube's getting. I think they're slowly realizing they can't algorithm everything with this, and that they're eventually going to need. They're hiring teams together to try and make this work a lot better than what it's been working before. So I think as they sort things out, some of these other channels that have been getting sort of knocked based on certain categories because the algorithm picked it up, I think there's going to be a situation where that'll get resolved, where they'll be able to better target what they need without that guy that, I guess he made some algorithm, and the guy that basically owns a patent on algorithm that pretty much started all this shit with the Wall Street Journal and all that other stuff, essentially to basically manipulate Google into having to license the patent from him, and which I think is the most intelligent thing to do. Is like, oh, you're gonna try and fuck Google. I said, oh, okay, that's good luck with that, buddy. They'll screw you over first. Good luck, buddy. They're this size for a reason, because you have one patent isn't going to necessarily make. They'll find their way around whatever they need to do to get where they need to get done. So I kind of hope they do, in a way. I kind of like, in some ways, I kind of hope they find their way to figure this out. Just get sorted out. They don't have to license that guy's patent, and the guy ends up getting screwed in the end of the day. Yeah, so I kind of hope that.
All right, let's move on to our next topic, which was the topic before this: Xfinity Mobile. And as you know, Comcast likes to throw out new services all the time, and this one looks enticing with Xfinity Mobile, which is their own mobile service for Comcast. It is powered by Verizon.
No, it's powered by America's largest and most reliable 3G network.
Who?
That's what it says in the paper. They actually legally can't say what the network's from.
I know, but I just called it Verizon. I mean,
yeah, but we can't call it. You can't say that. It's from America's largest and most reliable 4G LTE network.
Okay, all right. That's who is powering it, by the way. It might be a red tick.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
But the service looks so. Granted, this is another player jumping into the mobile arena. Comcast is trying to make this as enticing as possible. And Warren, can you give us some of the breakdowns? I know we were talking about that yesterday, but
so basically, the press release was a lot more complicated than it should have been when talking about it.
Yeah.
But to break it down, the only thing I don't see in this is, like, I think you have to be a Comcast customer to take advantage of this. I didn't see where you could just jump on your own. But essentially, if you're a Comcast customer, if you have their internet service, I think at a minimum, which is either you have TV or internet, one or the other, usually you have both. If you have that, you're able to get their unlimited data plan with no device access fee for $65 a month. So it's going to sort of work very similar to Project Fi, where it's going to use a mesh network of cellular service from America's largest 4G LTE network.
Yeah, on Wi-Fi hotspots.
And Wi-Fi hotspots, which they already have. Funny things, I already use a combination of this using Project Fi, and since I am an Xfinity customer, I get access to the Wi-Fi hotspot, so I kind of use that in combination already to give myself a pretty good deal on data. But it's $65 for that. And then if you have certain bundled packages, X1 packages, you'll be able to get it for $45 a month. And this is up to five devices can be on your account. Wow. And they have a $12 pay-as-you-go, per gigabyte service. All of them include unlimited text and unlimited data. It also can be a mix and match. So if the three of us are on a plan, one person can be a unlimited person, another person can be a pay-as-you-go person, and you can mix that up as you want to. As far as devices, actually Comcast has more than just the iPhone. They've said the iPhone, but they do have Samsung and LG and HTC, and all of them will also be on board too. It'll be most likely Verizon compatible unlocked devices that can work on the network will most likely be the ones that will work with it. So they most likely will have the most popular phones out there, which is Apple, Samsung, and LG. That's where you're pretty much going to get everything, with a few other players probably coming in there that are unlocked and whatnot. But but that's pretty much kind of the gist of it. It has its own app, no contract.
The thing about the plan is, if you're a Comcast user, it is a highly tempting deal, especially if you have like a family. This is very tempting to literally go all Comcast with what they're offering.
It kind of just makes logical sense, especially if you if you already have Comcast services, if you're already a Verizon customer maybe, and you're looking to save money on the bill. I mean, you're not going to lose the network. You're going to get a network, and you're going to gain, the Wi-Fi hotspots, which you kind of already have. It's almost just kind of, if you already have Verizon and Comcast already together, you're kind of being enticed to essentially pay a little bit less to get the same service and sticking with them, and instead of going Xfinity Mobile instead. And like I said, it's a very tempting deal. It's
not available yet. I think it's June
summer,
or summer this time.
Summer sometime.
I mean, we'll take a look at it and see how it is. But I'm not saying that this is something everyone to switch to. But if you're a Comcast customer, as I mentioned, it makes a lot of sense.
It'll be interesting to see if Verizon actually uses themselves to bundle this with Fios, because they already kind of have a deal where if you get Fios and you get Verizon, you'll get like $10 off your bill. But I've always wondered, why the hell haven't they done this yet with their own stuff? Which is going to be interesting if they do that, because they'll actually, if people might not know that Verizon and Verizon Wireless are technically two separate entities. They're under an umbrella of Verizon, but they operate very independently from each other. So that's why a deal of them sort of working with Comcast essentially can happen, even though their brethren are in competition with Comcast in the same space,
because their brethren didn't want to strike a deal, so they're like,
and then eventually, but then there's no way eventually that Fios is not going to offer the same exact deal. There's just no way they're not. They're going to do the same thing.
I mean, true, but then again, I think if you think about it, for Verizon Wireless, Comcast is in more regions than Fios right now.
Yeah, I mean what I actually think this is. I think this is leveraging a partnership to where Verizon can take advantage of working with Fios to spread their network, because they all kind of use the same pipes. They all kind of use the same underground workings, that they kind of need each other in a lot of ways to do things. Verizon needs Comcast a little bit more in those things. So I would see that Verizon Wireless would be the bridge essentially between the two of them to expand each other, because you got to remember, Verizon wants good deals with Comcast because they need NBC, ABC, and NBC's in Universal. I
forgot about that too.
Universal block, like it's the weirdest relationship.
I forgot Comcast owned NBC.
All kind of comes together. Pierre, they weren't absorbed. They're just doing a part.
Speaking of which, AT&T also announced something this week. HBO Now, if you are an AT&T, oh my God, what's the question? Something where if you have DirecTV or you have HBO Go for free, pretty much. Okay. I can't remember exactly. Cool. Yeah, but AT&T's already leveraging a company they don't own yet.
But that's the thing, right? But that's the thing, right? These companies are trying to be a lot more than just your internet service provider. I mean, than just your cell phone company. They're trying to turn into not just an ISP. They're trying to become your content providers as well.
Yeah.
So they're making these deals to make sure that you stay.
Well, they're your access provider. They provide you access to the Oasis.
So this is it. Starting tomorrow, all AT&T customers who subscribe to AT&T Unlimited Plus plan will receive HBO as part of the plan, no extra cost. HBO will automatically be included for both new and existing customers, regardless of whether the customer have an AT&T video service or not. So as long as you have the Unlimited Plus plan, you will get HBO.
Okay, interesting.
Just in time for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. AT&T might have just kept me as a subscriber. I was thinking of going to Verizon for a bit.
Is it for customers who currently subscribe to HBO through AT&T's video services, DirecTV, DirecTV Now, or Uverse, HBO will automatically be included for no additional charge. These customers will receive a credit for the next 1 to 2 video bills. Customers who subscribe to an AT&T video service but not HBO will automatically receive access to the premium HBO channels through that service at no extra cost. And customers who have AT&T Unlimited Plus wireless plan but do not subscribe to AT&T video service, no problem at all. They can also still access HBO through the DirecTV Now app. So that's for customers who don't have the Unlimited Plus plan. But pretty much, if you're on AT&T, you get HBO free at a certain level. Yeah.
So what I'm seeing here with Verizon, well, Xfinity Mobile, and this thing happening is something that's going to be trending pretty much across in the next couple of years. So the big four networks, the people that own the networks, which is the AT&Ts, the Verizons, the Sprints, and the T-Mobiles, the big four that own all the spectrum. We have some smaller players, but the big four network players are all eventually going to be doing some type of MVNO lower level of way of selling service. And you're going to see things like Xfinity Mobile sort of exist. You're going to see some other players out there, some independent people, some independent companies. You might have seen some celebrities doing these things, offering wireless services under these different networks. And it's going to become a much more common thing to sort of happen because it ends up being cheaper when you don't have to own storefront and push things in a certain way, but still be able to rent and lease your towers and make money off of it. So I think you'll still see obviously the T-Mobile, Verizon, and all those type of stores out there, but don't be surprised if we start to see them sort of shrink that down a bit, make that a little bit more focused. You'll see some more of those, bigger center type places, and much less of those smaller, mom and pop shops, because more people because we're getting more towards unlocked phones, we're getting more towards the European model. We're probably going to see a lot more people saying they have Xfinity Mobile versus I have, this other person might have Booredatwork Mobile or BW1 Mobile or a Black Iron _man Mobile, whatever, branding it is that, somebody else over here has Samsung gets into the game. Samsung Mobile literally has their own mobile service they offer. I don't think they'd get into this, but that's exactly what they would do, what they're all sort of getting themselves into, which is trying to offer cheaper service. And the best way to do that is to MVNO it, let someone else handle their customer service, handle the technology behind it, and alleviate sort of the physical storefront that you have to manage with it. And that, like I said, that's going to become less and less a thing going forward.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to some news bites before we round up. Showtime app now offers offline downloads. Looks like Netflix offline downloads have been quite popular, so Showtime is getting to the mix there. And Netflix also has released its new rating system. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
It's such a YouTube thing.
Even YouTube realized that wasn't enough, so they added the emojis. And these, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
No one's really gonna pay attention to those things. The best thing for them to do is to get their shows rated on Rotten Tomato and just use another service that can aggregate it in.
I
Netflix
don't like Rotten Tomato. The system beforehand, I think, was fine. You need to add.
They spent a lot of money trying to get the algorithms right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, thumbs up and thumbs down. I don't like Rotten Tomato because basically, if you go in, there's some movies and they say they agree. Okay, Ghostbusters, for instance, on Rotten Tomato. That movie was trash. And because people were trying to be like, well, it's an all-female cast, let me be nice. No, it was just a bad movie. Straight up bad movie. So
IMDb has it at a 5. IMDb is what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking of Rotten Tomatoes. I'm thinking of IMDb. And I was because I was thinking the same thing about the Rotten Tomatoes thing, but I was like, who uses stars? I forgot they don't use stars. I was confusing the two services. I was saying IMDb might be a very much better place for that to get that type of information from.
Let's see, and then just some quick news bites for you. Refurbished Galaxy Note 7 surfaces with a 3200 milliamp battery instead of 3500 milliamp battery. This came out in Vietnam. It looks like the rumored 5.8-inch OLED iPhone 8 might be delayed due to 3D sensor troubles. So, we'll see. We're hearing that it's going to have a smart connector, so you can connect VR, AR glasses, a few other things like that. And also the next gen Apple AirPod case would charge other devices as well. So like your Apple Watch, you can use your case to charge that. Not a bad idea. I mean, considering how much they charge for those things anyway, I mean, you might as well do more than one thing.
Wait, what? This is 73%?
What's 73%?
The new Ghostbusters movie.
I told you.
I never checked this thing. I was like, you gotta be.
Yeah, that's right.
What weed are they smoking? I haven't even seen the movie, but I already heard enough about it to know that, because the audience score is 53%. That's what I was more looking at. Not so much their thing, but what the audience will score things is what I think.
That audience score is even too generous, man. Because that movie,
the average rating is 3.1 out of 5. I'm like that to me.
I give that movie a 1.
Which movie is this?
Ghostbusters, the new one.
Oh, yeah. No comment.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. No,
I'm
not bothered to see it.
No need. It's okay. You can not watch it. But yeah, that is pretty much it, I believe, for this weekend. If you're on Netflix, definitely check out season 2 of The Get Down. I haven't started yet, but I can't wait to.
I've got too much to catch up on Netflix. There's apparently The Get Down. There's the damn Chappelle show. There's some other damn show that everybody's talking about.
The Chappelle show you can always put on and then cook.
My thing with Netflix is I can't I want to. Where's
you want
the
to sit down
playlist?
and binge, right?
No, but I want a playlist that I can just throw things on and create my own.
Okay, you know what? That is
network.
No. But you know what? The problem with Netflix though is they need to change their overlay. It is the worst thing ever, especially if you share accounts
my
with anyone.
screen just went black. This is interesting.
Okay, you're back on again. Netflix overlay needs to be streamlined so that my shows that I watch, if it's movies, there has to be a section, not just this running carousel that disappears, and then if I come back later, I can't find stuff.
I just want if I favorite a show because I want to watch it, I want to be able to organize it in a way that I can could put in all my things I want to watch in just a playlist and just let the playlist run itself.
Kind of like in Plex. Why can't they just do that?
Because you can do that, and plus you can queue things. Why isn't there a queue? I want to queue. I want to go to this playlist and set up these things here, and I want these things to play. This is my
you know what would be great, right? If you could queue it and go, look, you know what? I have 5 shows I want to watch. I want to watch intermediate episodes of each show.
Yeah, like a television network.
Exactly. Episode 1 of this, episode 1 of this, episode 1 of that, episode 2. Just see and I'm watching it and I just binge through so that I enjoy
this idea will come out next week.
Yeah, I know.
Had any cash for it, which is just messed up.
No,
giving out free ideas, guys.
Our ideas will always roll out free. One day we will be paid. We will be paid. That's the day that the show will stop running.
We made money. We've forgotten all of you. We'll still be here.
We don't know any of you anymore.
Richie says, when will the Samsung Galaxy S8 review come out? Whenever we get units.
Probably sometime after the release, right?
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a mess right now.
Yeah,
Everybody will have their reviews out at the time where they should have them, and don't just
they should have them. I love that answer.
Don't just like jump on because somebody put their review out the first week or two that it came out. Watch people's reviews that have spent some time with them, or come out maybe a couple weeks or maybe even a couple months later because they spent a little bit more time with it to put out a quality review. Because trust me, a lot of these folks that put out instant stuff, it's just like the people that have apparently are reviewed Bixby. I'm like, Terrace didn't even work at the damn event. But somehow everyone has reviews and opinions on Bixby already, and trying to remove it from, and then trying to say, well, I want Google Assistant instead, without actually giving Bixby the opportunity.
It's not fully operational.
It's not.
All it has is the Google Assistant functionality in there.
Yeah,
and that's it. It doesn't have the other functionality that way you can jump back and forth because it's not fully available.
I'm just like, let's give it an opportunity before everyone's around just judging it and just sending out bounties to get to make buttons to remap the button and all this other crap that's going on.
I will say that I mean the S8 is a nice looking device and solid. For people who are trying to decide between the S8 and the S8 Plus, my suggestion is if you use the Note 7, even though the S8 is the same size, it's almost the same size as the Note 7, you should go for the S8 Plus. That's just how I put it. Yeah. It's even though it's larger at 6.2 inches, it's only slightly larger than the iPhone 7 Plus. I'll put it that way.
With a much bigger screen.
Yeah, with so much more real estate on there. So, on that note, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Warren, what is our last word for the week?
So, what happened to hashtag delete Lyft? I'm still waiting for that movement to go on. Still gonna wait on it. With hashtag delete Lyft, we were so hardcore in that hashtag delete Uber thing. I wonder if Lyft had something to do with that. I don't know. Wondering why. Check some boards, check some administrations, see who's on there. With 3 people now. My generation of people, my adult millennials and younger millennials, hear me out. We got to stop being hypocrites. We really have got to stop being hypocrites because nobody older than us takes anything that we do seriously because we can't seem to keep focused on one thing or actually like be right about something. And Lou Ross said Lyft sucks, by the
way. They just put the stamp on there.
Okay. It's like, hey, Lyft sucks. Like, we should just bring him into they should just pop in and Lyft sucks and then pops out.
Anyway, what do you have in your channel? What can people expect, Warren?
Oh, let's see. Next week, besides stuff, I'm trying to get this G6 review out next week since we've spent quite a bit of time with it. And I've got to organize a couple of different schedules for a couple of different products I got to put out next week. So, but if anything, expect the stuff and the G6, of course.
Okay. On our end, eventually we have 2 Ryzen builds, actually 3 builds, waiting on a few parts, and we'll have that for you whenever it's ready. So just stay tuned for a Ryzen 7.
Occupy Wall Street. Let's not bring that up. That's like a black stain on our generation. Seriously, seriously embarrassing. Yeah. We're all gonna look back at that and say, "Ugh, that was an embarrassing moment."
But what's on the channel? You can check out the Cybertron CLX Raw Ryzen 1800X gaming PC.
Cybertron.
It is powerful. It's a powerful beast, man. It matches Board Prime at half the price. It literally does at half the price. I mean, Board Prime has more RAM, but it's just showed me that AMD has eventually finally come to play. Yeah. So I was like, okay, all right, that's good. Next week, actually, either today or tomorrow, I'm going to be dropping the video and some features that you didn't know are going to be available on the Galaxy S8. So stay tuned for that. And then my P10 review will be up next week, as well as the 2 laptops, Acer laptop, as well as the Dell XPS 13 2.1. Oh, no, 2-in-1. Sorry, I said 2.1. So that's going to be up next week. And some headphones. A bunch of headphones came in. So expect at least 1 or 2 up on the channel. And that is pretty much it, guys. Want to thank everyone for joining in. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Sam. And also everyone in the chat for leaving comments, discussing, cracking jokes, and all that fun stuff. Again, join us.
We got done under an hour. It's
Yeah.
because Juan isn't here.
Wow.
Well, Juan has his monologues.
Wow. Okay.
I think three people being on the show definitely makes for a longer show.
Yeah.
I think 4 people being on the show makes for a longer show because everyone has to get their point of view across anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe to all the channels, bw1.com. You can check out Warren Bowman there. And also follow him on Twitter. It is bw1.com.
I'm actually talking on Twitter more often now.
Praise the Lord.
I still hate Twitter. I'm actually using a regular Twitter app.
And,
but I still hate Twitter.
Of course, check out @BlackIron_man on Twitter. And myself, it is Bored at Work on Twitter, as well as our channel, Boored at Work on YouTube. Thank you very much, and always enjoy your entertainment.
Boom.